Welcome back to Open Source Ostomy, guys. My name is Nicole, and before I talk about what helps me stay grounded, I want to name the mental load that comes with having an ostomy bag because it is something that everyone goes through, and I know that I certainly struggled with it myself. Before surgery, my mental energy went towards managing my symptoms, tracking pain, what I ate, bathrooms, exit plans. After surgery, some of that eased, but the hypervigilance didn't just disappear, and a whole nother layer of anxiety and embarrassment showed up. I had to learn how to exist in a body that changed in a very visible way, a body that felt exposed and I didn't always recognize nor appreciate. A lot of people going through this quietly start to believe that they are less. I mean, certainly no one was saying that to me, but my brain was. So, staying grounded isn't just about calming my anxiety, it's understanding that my worth didn't change when my body did. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, but no one is here to save you. No one is forcing you to clock in for your personal growth. You are the CEO of your life, and if you want to see a change, you need to create the change. In this video, I'm going to give you real science-backed, evidence-based tips and step-by-step instructions that I took to make real progress with my mental health post-ostomy surgery. I didn't really intend to make a list of these things, but it turned out to be 5 pillars that I think are important. So hear me out with number 1 and stay with me, guys. Stay with me. Meditation is hard for everyone when they're a beginner. And I was no different. It took me months of inconsistently showing up every day to really start to enjoy it. There is a lot of research that shows that controlled breathing can positively affect your parasympathetic nervous system, which tells your body you are safe. For me, this isn't about being calm all of the time. It is about creating distance between a thought and a reaction. Negative thoughts don't just disappear. You have to sit with them and acknowledge them and work through them. There are many resources out there to help you as a beginner. I recommend sticking to guided meditations. I use an app called Open, and I accidentally got stuck after my free trial expired and I paid the annual fee, and it is a bit pricey, but that did motivate me to actually use the app. I have enjoyed it so much that I will voluntarily be paying the annual fee this year. Create a challenge, time box it for a month, and just show up. And you can never do it again if you don't want after the challenge is over. Reduce the friction by getting a guided meditation app. Start with no more than a 10-minute meditation. Think of it like showing up to the gym. You start to do it for future you, and then you start to see the benefits, and then the intrinsic motivation takes over, and then it starts to snowball. This is a low spoon, no spoon self-care activity. Even if you are gassed at the end of the day, you can lay down on your couch or your bed, turn on your guided meditation, and just rest. There is a reason why I put this one first. There is no excuse not to show up. Next on my list is maybe another obvious one, but movement has always been a passion of mine, even while having a debilitating disease. I have been going to the gym regularly for over a decade, and my first career path as a physical therapist assistant was dedicated towards helping others that were going through their own physical challenges. So I have seen firsthand through my own personal experiences, as well as through others, that when your physical health takes a hit, your mental health takes an even bigger hit. There is strong research-backed evidence that regular movement reduces symptoms like anxiety and depression by increasing serotonin levels and reducing stress hormones. And I know I'm not the first person to tell you guys this, but I will show you these photos that I have never showed before because I think having the visual is helpful to see. Remember that I am almost 5 years out from surgery, and post-surgery, I was wrecked. I spent 8 weeks in a hospital bed, which was horrible for my posture, and I was really weak. I had lost 20 pounds in the hospital, and the infections I had ate away at my muscles and rocked my endurance. I felt so deflated at the gym, feeling like I was starting over, that I hated it at first. I went from squatting more than my body weight to curling 2 pound dumbbells. But to me, moving my body was a pillar that was going to get me back to normal, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from getting my life back. And even more than that, movement helped me rebuild trust with my body, and that is a scientific statement, my friends. One of the best books I've ever read is called The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. It is a accumulation of this doctor's lifetime work and passion, and it combines neuroscience, clinical observation, and personal narratives to offer a comprehensive guide to understanding and recovering from traumatic stress. It explains how trauma physically reshapes the brain and body, and it touches on key topics like the mind and body connection, neuroplasticity, and treatments for recovering, including movement and mindfulness, people. One of the key takeaways I want to emphasize here is the longitudinal studies on bilateral and repetitive movements. In the early stages of recovery, we do not want to add more stress onto your body. But if you are starting at zero, walking, posture exercises, and gentle yoga are not just for your physical health. There is research backed evidence that these activities can not just improve your physical, but also your mental health. It's a two birds, one stone sort of situation. And don't just take my word for it. I encourage you to check it out or listen to the audiobook. The reps add up over time, guys. Get them in. This brings me to number 3, and while I love breaking routine as much as the next person in my passport would suggest so, there was a lot of research that came out post-pandemic concreting what we already knew, which is that routine will help stabilize your mood and improve your mental health. It creates predictability, reduces symptoms of anxiety and depression, supports sleep and activity patterns, and maintains coping capacity, all of which are tied to mental well-being. In this study that came out by Cambridge University in 2023, researchers measured people's daily routine stability, like waking up at the same time and sticking to their daily plans, and their psychological resilience. They found that people with regular routines scored higher on resilience, meaning that they were better at coping with stress and regulating mood. And this large review looked at almost a million people across 32 countries during the pandemic. It found that disruptions in daily activity, like eating, sleeping, physical, and social activities, were impacted and associated with more depressive symptoms and anxiety and psychological distress. The key takeaway being that when routines break down, such as during stressful and unpredictable situations, symptoms like anxiety and depression tend to increase. I can keep going, but I'll just say that when I did my research on this, there were many recent studies that also suggested the same outcomes. But no, that doesn't mean that your life has to look like Groundhog Day. These can be small rituals, your morning routine, your evening routine, a couple non negotiables at consistent times during the day. But every day, I carve out time for what I consider are my non negotiables. They look like time in the sun, daily walks, daily movement, gratitude practice, and meaningful connections. They are accessible, science-backed, and easy to complete. Now I want you to make a small routine for yourself. Make a checklist of what your non-negotiables are and write it out for every day of the week. Track it, audit it, modify it. This data is good information for you. Where are things slipping through the cracks? Where do you need to invest more in yourself? In this post-pandemic world, we are lonelier than ever, and it is a problem because belonging isn't just something that you feel, it is linked to tangible benefits for your mental health. Community works like a support system, not just socially, but psychologically. When people feel like they belong, they have more resources to cope with stress, which strengthens resilience and improves overall life satisfaction. Knowing people in your neighborhood and community provides more opportunities for help, empathy, and shared activities, which are all tied to better mood and stress management. And I know that it is not easy to build community, so I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to find your people. Let me preface this with saying that you need different types of friends in your life to serve different purposes. And you're going to find them by reconnecting with old friends. You know those friends that you love, but you just kind of fell off and stopped talking to? Hit them up. Share with them that you miss them in your life and you want to catch up. A lot of my closest girlfriends in my life are long distance friends. They are low maintenance. We don't talk regularly, but I know that when I need support from them, I can call them up and we will talk for hours. And you need that. Put yourself out there. This one is really hard and it's going to lead into my next point, but do not wait up. If you wait for someone else to come with you to do something, you're going to be waiting forever and you're going to miss out on so much. Find local events going on, volunteer, go on the Meetup app to find social gatherings that are designed to meeting new people. Have a friendly conversation with a stranger in the wild. If you find that you need more friends, then what you've been doing hasn't been working, so you need to experiment. The world is vast, and if you go to an event and you don't make any friends, you don't have a good time, or God forbid you embarrass yourself, unless you got someone or everyone's phone number, you are likely never to see them again. And besides, everyone is so worried about how they're being perceived that they're not worried about how you're worrying about being perceived. Now to my last point. New experiences like the ones I just gave you rewire your brain. They improve your self efficacy and they will change your life. Self efficacy is what you believe you are capable of. And after having a disease that has taken so much from you, physically and mentally, you need that. So, back to my point on community, even if you went to that event and you didn't make any friends and it was scary, you will be proud of yourself walking away. And that is you flexing your self efficacy muscle. That is putting in the reps to strengthen it. One of the first things I did for myself after my health stabilized was book a solo trip to Costa Rica. I have always wanted to travel. My health was stable and I wanted to do something for myself. And yes, I was so nervous going to a foreign country alone. I had never done that. I didn't really know many people who had done that. But every small thing I accomplished once I landed made me so proud of myself. Getting my SIM card, getting a taxi to my hotel, finding the beach, put a little smile on my face. And it was me putting in the reps and strengthening my self efficacy. Now, what I didn't expect solo traveling was the way that I was going to rewrite my story. Because having a bag is a tangible thing. And because Costa Rica is tropical, I spent a lot of time in a bikini or with my bag semi visible. It challenged me mentally with my physical insecurities around my bag, but it also created this effect where people would just kind of strike up a conversation with me and be like, "What's that thing?" And at first, I told my life story and all the trauma that I've been through. And then organically, it got shorter and shorter and turned into this story of what I've survived and how I got my life back. And the way people responded to it was exclusively positive. They praised me for my resilience and they shared stories of their struggles. Even some people mentioning their diagnosis of Crohn's or colitis. And it created this incredibly impactful moment of human connection. So I say all of this to say that you should not underestimate the impact that can happen on you and others when you share your story out loud. Now, I'm not saying that you need to leave the country to have these moments, but if you're looking for a sign, then take this as your sign. But traveling and trying new things, saying yes when I was scared, those moments have fundamentally changed my perspective on my ostomy bag. If you were looking for something more in this video, or if you'd like me to expand more on something that you heard, I would love to hear your feedback. Thanks for tuning in this week, guys. I will see you next Sunday.